everybody knows a brand like VIP, everybody knows Skybags, everybody knows Samsonite, American Tourister.
Yeah.
But in fact, the market penetration is just 13% in India, and mostly urban.
Okay.
So it's a category which is lowly penetrated,
Mm-hmm.
but it has somehow commoditized because it's a very need based category, because you remember your luggage when you want to
Travel.
travel, and
Yeah.
that's time, because time is the biggest asset that we have today, and it's
Right.
getting more expensive and luxurious as day passes.
Yeah.
Slowly cut to liberalization early 90s. There are multiple luggage pieces that the family started having.
Mm-hmm.
2000 2010s, these guys started having one piece of luggage for each family,
Yeah.
and now it will the next frontier is that everybody would want to have a business, a leisure, a everyday travel.
Welcome to Icons Behind Brands. Hi, this is Devleena, your host. And today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Suyash Dongare, currently the head of digital marketing at VIP Industries Limited, with over 13 years of digital marketing experience spanning FMCG, BFSI, real estate, pharmaceutical, and more. Suyash is a true industry leader. His expertise in building direct to consumer brands. He has worked with clients like Facebook, TCS, Godrej Consumer Products, HDFC Bank, to name a few. So join us as we unravel the insights and wisdom of Suyash's journey. A very warm welcome to you, Suyash, here on Icons Behind Brands.
Thank you, Devlina. Thanks for the kind, brief introduction about me. It's a
So
privilege to be on the screen with you.
I would really love to know, you have worked in so many different industries so far, from
Yeah.
FMCG to BFSI to real estate to pharmaceutical, direct sales industries. A lot to talk about that. So let's talk like how it has contributed to your current role now. If you just brief me about little about your journey and background and how these many industries have contributed on your current role.
I was actually training or getting qualified professionally to be a civil engineer, and
Oh,
it's just by chance that I got into sales for Google AdWords uh,
okay.
across continents, and then that piqued my interest. Learned Google AdWords,
Mm-hmm.
and did 8 years of performance marketing, where I handled real estate, pharma, and in my final stint in performance, I was handling HDFC Bank and
Okay.
Royal Sundaram Insurance. So the basic learning all the while was as digital marketing grew, as the consumer started coming up on internet in India, uh, things started becoming interesting from perspective of the tech giants, from perspective of a marketeer as well.
Mm-hmm.
My initial years where it was very easy for a BFSI client to educate about digital and how they can save cost on direct marketing techniques like mailers, in-person consultations. They were amazed for a fact that they can drive so much efficiency with conversations and with primarily just being present where the consumer is showing their intent.
Right.
Uh, then there was a very, uh, like I said, a very quick transition into FMCG, which I was in for last 7.5, 8 years, with a brief stint on Facebook and TCS Ion. I started
Okay.
my journey with being handling Google platforms for Mondelez from the agency side of things. A year down the line, I started leading digital initiatives altogether from the agency side for Mondelez. Uh, Global brands like back in the ages where fixated on formulations of media dispensing,
Mm-hmm.
so that they get to their consumers, but slowly they became less dependent on media, more dependent on consumer habits and the platform consumers want to see them on. So that was a very quick transition, and it was fun working with Mondelez, and that's where I decided like this is a space that I want to explore.
Okay.
Then GCPL happened to me, where we did a lot of good work, uh, got into new platforms like Spotify. First time I did a plan which breached around 200 million reach. Uh, then I joined Red Fuse, where I was responsible for Colgate Palmolive, and
Mm-hmm.
Colgate Palmolive presented a very different challenge. This is the
Okay.
first time I think first party data was with GDPR coming in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
First party data became very important for Colgate Palmolive in India,
Oh.
and I dabbled with that.
Mm-hmm.
And soon, a year after, I was at VIP, where I've already spent 16 months
Okay.
meandering industry leader in a category which is warming up to digital post COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and has seen a huge transition on online sales.
Okay.
So we are trying to make it an online giant as well. So
Oh.
king on the streets, and the goal is to make VIP the market leader on online sales channel as well.
There are a lot of challenges as a market leader. You already have a name there, and the challenges are also there. It has its own pros and cons. Being a brand. So if you just help me understand on this, Suyash, like some challenges which are like unique to marketing in the luggage and travel accessories industry, and how have you adapted to them?
Okay, so interesting fact about luggage industry is that even if the brands in the luggage industry are so you're aware about them, the awareness levels are very high. Everybody knows a brand like VIP. Everybody knows Skybags. Everybody knows Samsonite, American Tourister.
Yeah.
But in fact, the market penetration is just 13% in India, and mostly urban.
Okay.
So it's a category which is lowly penetrated,
Mm-hmm.
but it has somehow commoditized because it's a very need based category, because you remember your luggage when you want to
Travel.
travel, and that's
Yeah.
when it's like the higher 0.5% of people use it as a accessory, because they would use it if they want to go for a wedding trip. They would change it. If it's a short trip, they would have a different set of luggage, because it's a privilege. And of course it's an expensive item to purchase. It's
Yeah.
beyond the median
But do you think after the
income.
Instagram and other things, it has become more like an accessories, considered as an accessories, because
Yeah, it's definitely moving in that direction. But to be very honest, if you want to buy a luggage,
mm-hmm.
like urban homes are shrinking, and luggage
Okay.
do occupy sufficient space in your
Mm-hmm.
house. So it's a call that consumers want to do if they want to have. See, the whole journey started 50 years back when a family used to have one piece of luggage.
Yeah.
Slowly cut to liberalization early 90s. There are multiple luggage pieces that the family started having.
Mm-hmm.
2000 2010s, these guys started having one piece of luggage for each family,
Yeah.
and now it will the next frontier is that everybody would want to have a business, a leisure, a everyday travel luggage piece or a backpack.
That's true.
So honestly speaking, the progression is there. People are warming
Okay.
up to this idea of using it as an accessory. But having said that, the signals of consumer who wants to travel is
Mm-hmm.
still very intent based. Okay,
Okay.
there are not a lot of signals that come from the market to suggest that somebody is traveling and I should show an ad to them. So,
Okay.
honestly speaking, the market is very performance driven, intent driven,
Okay.
and it's doing branding activities for them is just like shooting in the dark. It's just like being top of the mind. But
Mm-hmm.
when the need arises, if you still don't feature in their mind space, you will
Mm-hmm.
lose out on that consumer.
That's
And
true.
the fact for the category is that once you make a purchase, you're almost gone off the radar for 2 years unless you have a big event in life.
That's
The
right.
second challenge is uh, our category competes with most of the brands targeting the youth. First of all, 50% of India is youth now.
Yeah.
And people always use luggage in four main uh, events of their life which happen before age of 35. Okay.
Okay.
First one being student travel.
Okay.
Second one being your first job.
Uh-huh.
Third one being your marriage.
Wedding.
Okay.
Yes.
And the fourth one being ability to take vacations. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like honeymoon. So
Hmm.
these are the four events in your life, and all these happen uh, like before age of 35, which is a cluttered space, and it becomes really difficult for a marketeer to pique a consumer's interest in that cluttered digital market where the communications are flowing in out. Every brand is trying to break the clutter and try to stand out. Today, if you see a YouTube ad, in a 20-minute video, you will end up seeing six sets of ads. Okay.
Hmm.
And you won't remember, you might remember communication, but still forget about brand names. So that iconography, that sonic relevance, that brand identity that needs to be imprinted on consumer, this makes it very difficult to put a finger on what is the most difficult part of the whole trade. But one thing I'm very sure, D2C brands, that the D2C destinations that I'm trying to build for
Okay.
VIP is definitely shaping up really well. We see consumers warming up, and I think so they were waiting for this whole opportunity where they could buy from brand directly rather than Amazons and Flipkarts of the world.
So, in context of the digital marketing, how do you think, what ethical consideration and social responsibilities do you believe are important to uphold in this?
Advertisement that one of travel portals had done recently on a print ad, which kind of for me pushed the boundaries of um, um, excitement that the brand wanted to create. So today, I would say even if CCI is in place, they have strict norms. I personally feel it is ethically right uh, to refrain from shaming a brand or challenging a brand directly.
Okay.
You can use references, you can create a banter around it. That's perfectly fine. Um, but to shame a brand or shame a nationality, shame any ethical community is really a no-no.
Yeah.
Uh, and personally, I feel that something culturally that we have to uphold is that we all need to have a brand purpose, and
Mhm.
we have to uphold that brand purpose. So I don't have to become all rainbow colors when it is LGBT or a Pride month. Uh,
Right.
if I don't uphold that brand, I should not be jumping on the
Every
bandwagon,
trend.
and yeah, it just becomes a trend. I
Mm-hmm.
think we as brands have responsibility to diffuse that cultural tension and be more be more true to the consumer, because
Mm-hmm.
consumer today sees through that whole smoke screen of what you are and what you want to be. For example, I recently saw a fashion brand,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if not wrong, it's a uber luxury fashion brand which started online platform, and they're asking consumers to try on their clothes with tags on,
Okay.
and if they don't like, return it. They don't have to
Okay.
shred it or don't have to waste it, so they can
Oh.
just simply return it. The
Mm-hmm.
good initiatives, environmentalism, looking out for future generations, reducing the carbon footprint of their company. This is all the initiatives you want to take, and yes, we are crafting something like that for as a brand purpose for our company, because we know our consumer is youth, and they look for these finer points and finer brand indicators, for that
Mhm.
matter, uh, to relate with the brand, to adopt a brand.
So you said it right that, I mean, not necessarily that, I mean, if it is a trend, then we have to jump on it, whether it is relatable to our brand and our brand persona, or not. So taking a call on that, it's a huge responsibility, and that is something which I believe to know. If you know what not to do, then you know what to do, right? So it's very important to know what not to do also.
Yeah, I think that's something that in excitement most of the brand miss out,
Yeah.
and um, hope they don't get reprimanded. But I think uh, as marketeers, the sense prevails that
Yeah.
we have to be conscious about the culture sentiments.
Okay, so being a leader is also not easy. So I would love to know from you, like, how do you prioritize your work-life balance as a leader? And what advice would you give to others striving to maintain a balance?
The workforce is designed such that priorities uh, are very difficult to chalk. Uh, Somebody's food might be others' poison, is what I think. But here we have to work as if there is no tomorrow. Um, uh, I think day before yesterday, Narayan Murthy said that
Yeah, I was
the
actually
youth should
connecting to
work
the same.
70 hours a week. I would say it depends. It's very subjective.
Yeah,
There is a lot of noise on digital forums that some people for it, some people against it. But I personally think it's very relative. Somebody who's a new age person who is keen on doing like a digital content creator,
yeah,
doesn't need that drive, and he has to be open like a open mic comedian. He needs to be aware every every minute of life. So for them, that's work, that's life.
yeah,
So an entrepreneur, that's work, that's life,
yeah,
because the problem statements are different. And if you're working in a corporate setup, definitely you need to prioritize things, but the list is endless. Also depends on what stage of the career you are. One advice I would honestly give to the new digital marketers that are coming into the fold is there are tools for things that we took hours to do before. So I
hmm,
think upskilling yourself on the latest technologies like AI,
right.
using you, it's a very convenient tool. Use it as a tool. Don't get threatened by the whole narrative about AI will eat up
I
jobs.
always say that's my new intern. So you just have to tell your intern that, I mean, what you want to do. Be productive, don't be busy. So, I mean, it's important how much time you are investing and how much productive you are in that time. And that's the mantra, and that is what is going to drive the results ultimately.
The first 3 4 years of your career, you need to look at the work more than the money.
Hmm.
Then from the fourth to 10th year, the you have to balance both the learning and the earning.
The
And
monetary part
probably
as well.
after that you have to look at the earning, and this earning is not just monetary. This is earning experiences, earning time, because time is the biggest asset that we have today, and it's
Right.
getting more expensive and luxurious as day passes. So you have to think about earning for yourself, earning yourself some right to like relax, and all you have to focus on those part of earnings. So yes, people should start focusing and be truthful to themselves. That's one thing.
Right. So, with this, now we will be moving towards a section called rapid fire round. And the
Sure.
rules are very simple. You need to answer either in one word or as minimum word as possible. Okay. So, this section is going to help our viewers to know you as a person a little more.
Yeah.
So we are good to go for this.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, what has been your favorite age so far?
I think if I have to say, I would say computer age. Very interesting time of digital career.
Super. What is your favorite work memory?
My favorite work memory was when I was just leaving Mondelez and the media had, without my knowledge, had created a case study which then went to think with Google globally.
Okay.
I think that's very kind of my client to do that,
Wow.
and that's a work memory that I have.
That's so good.
Yeah.
What has changed the most since you have started working here?
My perspective towards media and consumers have changed a lot since uh, being in the
Okay.
media side of things. It's a bit convoluted. When you are on the business side of things, you understand the role media plays, the role consumers play, uh, the role marketing plays as a whole. Uh, that has transformed a lot of things to unlearn and
Okay.
relearn when you join a client side.
Right. And I think that's the mantra, learning, unlearning, and relearning is a lifelong process. What advice would you give to an employee on their first day of job?
Be open to what comes along way. Don't have preconceived notions about your colleagues and the work that you do. It's just a first step of a ladder that you're gonna climb for years together.
Super. If you could not work in this industry, what profession would you pursue?
See, I had multiple options. Then I would have been a civil engineer, which I was training for.
Hmm.
I had some interest in economics, so I
Okay.
don't uh, I don't deny that I would have been economist. Um, And the third thing that I would have definitely thought about is being a farmer because
Oh,
my family comes from that legacy, and we
hmm.
still have farms in our place. So yeah,
Superb. When are you most productive?
yeah. When I'm most productive, I think from 10 to 12, and from say 5 to 7.
So, what would you change about yourself?
Um, I have no regrets in life, so there is nothing to change in me.
Super. What advice would you give to your younger self? Similar.
I would say take more risks. I think after after traversing such different phases of digital, I think digital growth in India. I think I should have taken more risks at early age of life, like of this career.
Superb. So, with this, we are out of the rapid fire round. And before we wind up the conversation, we have audiences from B schools, people who are aspiring to be a marketer. So, what is your advice for a aspiring marketing professional?
So for an aspiring marketing professional, see, the ground rules remain the same. That you have to do some amount of sales because sales gives you a perspective of anything that you do.
Yeah.
And please, before being a marketer, get some experience of sales or push yourself into sales, and then you will know. um, and second thing is that now digital is not another sales channel, another platform. It's part of your life. All of you who will be joining the workforce very soon need to understand that digital is now a way of life.
I'm glad that you agreed for this conversation and coming to Icons Behind Brands. And we had an amazing time. It was incredible having you here.
The honor is mine. Devleena, is lovely speaking to you as well. Um, it's a good platform for me to give out some nuggets of life, some experiences that I have, which would rather not come if I did not get this platform. And thanks for the interesting questions, which helped me bring these out. So thanks for all the initiative, and it's been an honor to speak to you, Devleena.
I'm glad. I'm glad it has, you had a good time as well. And I'm sure we are going to have another conversation sometime. Okay,
Sure.
so, but thank you so much for being here.